call the order of Public Works and Engineering Services. Form this morning.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I believe it's ready for your approval, Mr. Chairman.
Have a presentation this morning. If we could we get, not long ago that guys couldn't retire, none of y'all could leave. Term was up. Got time left. Whereas Melvin Gibson has served Columbia County Roads and Bridges Department since July 1973 with dedication. Melvin Gibson announced his retirement effective by 2023 after. Whereas these duties have been marked by exemplary, energetic performance in his service to this county and to his colleagues in the oversight and maintenance of the vast roadway network and rights. Whereas Columbia County Board of Commissioners, County Management, and Services Division wish to extend to Melvin Gibson, strong work ethic, mentorship, new employees, and the pride he has shown in Columbia County. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Commissioners, do commend Melvin Gibson for his outstanding efforts and our appreciation for his service to Columbia. 2020. Tim, would you like to say something? You or Larry first? Melvin.
I would, Melvin, I can't say enough. Melvin's, not only his pride, dedication this employee has to Columbia County for the last 50 years. We'll start about, I guess, October, looking at time to take off, because Melvin's topped out in everything. So we'll meet with Melvin about the end of October and say, Melvin, there's only 10 more weeks left in the year. You better start taking your time. That maybe be on a Wednesday or something. We'll talk to him. Well, on Friday or Thursday, he brings a piece of paper in there. He's want 8 hours off on Friday. Like, I'm talking about 40 hours. So dedication has been unreal. Melvin started with the grass crew. It was only 5 people cutting grass out there. No weed eaters. Had to trim around a roadside obstacle with 3 tractors out there. Today there's 18 people. 10 tractors compared to what Melvin then was up against. Melvin is a dedicated employee. I'd like to say, Melvin, it's been a pleasure working with you these last 5 years. I wish you the best retirement. Just don't forget about it. Come back and drink a cup of coffee with us. All right.
I've worked with Melvin for 43 years. Back when I started, we had about 20 people. 10 to 12, something like that. Melvin's done everything. He's cut grass, he's fixed potholes, driveway pipes, cleaned ditches. Literally, he's done every job possible. Tim said, very seldom took a day off, never called in. Excellent guy. I'm gonna miss you. Congratulations.
Like to say anything? And I apologize.
We've been putting up with 50 years now. Now you got to put up with him.
so sorry I didn't bring
I want to thank everybody. But kind of real position right here. Came a long way.
want to congratulate you in your for your time with your family. Guys, we appreciate this whole team. I can't compliment and brag on y'all enough. It takes everybody to get. Thank all of y'all for this. Yeah. On down, no consent agenda items, we'll go right into debate.
Sir, I'll take them. First one we have for you is a change order number 1 for the market. As y'all are aware, we did encounter a lot of rock. We knew we were gonna hit rock with this project. We did have about 505 or so cubic yards of rock we had to rip out of there. Our first cost estimate that was given to us was close to 1.5 million to do some blasting, so staff worked hard with the contractor and actually were able to bring in some rippers and some big jackhammers, basically the end of some excavators, and we were able to get that cost down of removing the rock and bringing the fill back in, needed to $256,419.87. We'll add 90 days to the contract time as well. Staff recommends approval.
When is the contract due to, or when is it due to be?
February. We were hoping to have it in November, so it's pushed into February now.
Move to consent.
Second.
So move.
Next one I have for you is the rejection of bid 2023-17. This was for our Fire Rescue 2 replacement. We did receive bids from multiple bidders. Our low bid was $5.65 million, which was about $2.5 million over what we had budgeted. So at this time, we are asking to reject these bids. Staff is working with the design engineers and the architects to make some changes to hopefully have this back on the streets within a month or two to see if we can get our costs back down to where our budget will work. We recommend rejecting all these bids.
Seems though every time we reject them, they continue to go up, so I realize you're doing a great job with this, but just.
But we want to move fast. We don't want to drag our feet on it, so we want to make quick changes that we can think will save us a good bit of money, so we've got some ideas.
Move to consent.
Second.
So move.
Next time I have for you is some encroachment agreements. There are several parcels that are included, parcel 144, 143, 142, 141, 140, 139, 138, and 137. So these are all properties in Bell Tower subdivision. Commission recently granted a variance to allow the setbacks to change to allow for a larger yard for these houses. This time they're asking to build a retaining wall in the rear. It does encroach into our drainage utility easement. There are no utilities. Staff has reviewed this and staff is comfortable with this request. The wall will not exceed our 6-foot requirement, so no variances are needed there. The staff is recommending approval.
Consent.
Second.
So move. Stacy, you're up now, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
First item I have is a proposal to purchase a X8 hydro excavator from P&H Supply Company. This is a replacement piece of equipment to replace our Ramvac HX6. It's the same purchase that we did last year where we purchased one to replace the Ramvac, and now we're replacing our other Ramvac. And it gives us a bigger tank, gives us a little more capacity. We can dig better with this, and we don't have to make as many trips. Saves us a lot of time. We budgeted $600,000 for this piece of equipment, and our low bid was $535,665. And staff recommends the purchase of the X8 excavator through P&H Supply Company.
Old one was, how old is the old one?
The old one, not sure how old it is. It gives us a lot of issues. Mark, do you know how old? 17.
Will we keep it for smaller jobs or?
Yeah, we're gonna sell both of them on Gov Deals.
Painfully second.
So moved.
The next item I have is a contract agreement with GMC to evaluate hydraulic capacity of our Jim Blanchard water treatment plant. Last summer, we had a record summer at our plant when we had those 7 weeks without rain in May and June. And the plant really struggled. We found some issues. We've improved some things at the plant, but we're starting to approach that time where we need to look at expansion, and we have a few options. One is to do what we call high rating our filters. We have 4 filters that still haven't been high rated, that if we do that, we can get another 4 million gallons at our plant. But based on what happened last summer, I'm not sure the plant can do it. So this will be the first step towards high rating those filters. It'll be, to do a hydraulic evaluation, see where our points are, our places are that we could, maybe there's some choke points that we can improve. And so this will be for them to evaluate the plant and look at it. And, if everything's successful, then we'll use this when we get ready to high rate our filters in a couple of years. And so staff recommends approval of proposal with GMC to evaluate the hydraulic capacity of the plant for $56,000.
How long will it take them evaluation?
Probably about 8 weeks.
Hopefully figure out where the problem was we couldn't keep up last year.
Last year, we really struggled. We were at 36 million. We seemed to struggle to stay there. We did have a filter down at the time, but that's about 2 million, and the plant should be a 46 million gallon plant. So one of the issues was our raw water. We had a valve closed that we found. So we had a hard time getting raw water, but we were almost overflowing some basins at 36 million. And the concern is if we go higher than that, we'll start overflowing those basins.
Move to consent.
So moved.
The next item is another contract with GMC to determine our waste water pretreatment limits. The EPD for Georgia has reissued our MPDS permits, and one of the requirements of that is we go back and update our sewer use ordinance for industrial pretreatment. We've done a lot of this in-house in the past, but they're asking for a lot more, so we just need a little help from those guys with completing that. So we're proposing that GMC amend our pretreatment limits, and they're proposing to do this service for $28,300. Staff recommends approval of this proposal by GMC.
Second.
The next item is removal of a Class C or Category C auto allowance. Our previous manager in the mechanical department, he retired, and he had an auto allowance. So when we promoted internally, he assumed that Van Williams assumed that auto allowance. But we're down some staff, so Van is having to kind of assume or be in the role of a working manager right now. He's going out nights, weekends. He's helping with on-call duties. So he's putting a lot of travel on his vehicle. So we want to remove that allowance, allow him to drive a county vehicle until we can fill those positions and train those guys. And then, eventually we'll come back to you guys to put the allowance back, but we want to temporarily suspend that.
You already have the vehicle?
Yes, sir, we do. We, like I said, we're down a few staff, so we have the vehicles for those staff, now. So he's gonna drive the old vehicle he used to. Staff recommends approval of removal of the auto allowance.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
And the next item I have is adding a cell phone allowance to position number 1838, heavy equipment operator. All of our heavy equipment operators, except this one, have always had a cell phone allowance, and he's had a county phone. Well, he's since left us. So while we're advertising for the new position, we just like to go ahead and put a cell phone allowance on that position so it matches our other positions.
Second.
Move.
Last item I have is for a contract agreement with GMC for periodic maintenance of our hydraulic model. In our master plan that GMC did for us, they did a water model for our system, and we don't want to just let that water model sit and kind of collect dust and not utilize it. So this is an annual agreement with GMC to, as we get subdivisions and updates twice a year, we'll go in and send them all our new water lines, subdivisions, and they will update that. The cost of that is $12,000. I also added into that a not to exceed limit of $6,000 for any kind of service we may need if there's a new development or something, and we need some water model capabilities to let us know if we can handle that service or the area will not be impacted detrimentally. They can do that. So the total fee is $18,000. Staff recommends approval of this proposal for the hydraulic model maintenance.
Move to consent.
Second.
Move. Mr. Titus.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, how are y'all?
Kyle.
Good.
The first item we have is reclassifying Winfield Hills to a collector road. Currently, Winfield Hills is classified as a local road. However, it's posted at 45 miles an hour. The 85th percentile speed is about 55 miles an hour, but since it's a local road, Department of Safety won't let us add it to the radar permit. We'd like to add it to the radar permit so the sheriff can enforce radar. So staff recommends reclassifying Winfield collector.
Second.
The next item we have is Resolution 2337 to increase the speed limit on Nob Hill Farm Road. Currently, the 85th percentile speed on Nob Hill Farm Road is about 44 miles an hour. However, it's posted at 25 miles an hour. We'd like to increase the speed to 30 miles an hour. Typically, if the 85th percentile is 44, the posted speed would be 45, you'd round it. However, due to the horizontal and vertical curvatures of the road, staff doesn't recommend going up to 45. We recommend going to 30 miles an hour. This will also allow it to be added to the county's radar permit, so the sheriff can enforce radar. So staff recommends increasing the speed on Nob Hill Farm Road to 30 miles an hour.
Traffic continues.
Sir.
30 miles an hour is the
Minimum to add to the radar
minimum. Yeah,
permit.
you can't shoot radar below that, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Move to consent.
Second.
Move.
The next item we have is Resolution 23-43 to amend Fairfax Streetlight District. Staff received a request from a resident along Fairfax Street to add a streetlight. We reached out to Georgia Power to reevaluate it. They did and recommended adding the streetlight. They sent back a proposal to do that. The upfront pole cost was $401.90, and the annual utility cost was $187.56. Staff agrees with it and recommends adopting Resolution 2343. Do note that in the resolution, in the backup, there is an error that staff found. The annual utility cost is shown as the monthly cost, not the annual cost. So we're going to update that prior to it making it to the Board of Commissioners. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
So move.
The next item we have is the purchase of wetland and stream mitigation credits from Yam Grandy and Wetlands and Stream Mitigation Bank for the Hardy McManus Road Widening Project. This is a TIA-funded project based on impacts, proposed impacts for the widening project. The Corps has verified that we will need to purchase 5.44 wetlands credits at $76,000 each and 1,950 stream credits at $85 each for a total credit purchase of $579,190. Again, this is TIA, so it will be reimbursed. Staff recommends approval.
Ben?
The next item is change order number 2 with Beams Contracting for the Flowing Wells Road Widening Project. To date, the asphalt price index has been adjusted and has been paid out of the project's force account. The force account has since been depleted. So this is a change order to pay for the monies that have been used out of the force account to pay for the asphalt adjustment, plus a projection of what we're going to use moving forward with asphalt adjustment for a total of $254,993.90. Staff recommends approval.
How often does that change?
The asphalt adjustment monthly.
When's this gonna be due? Finished?
October is the latest I heard.
Latest.
The latest due date I've heard is,
The latest due date you've heard
the latest substantial completion date is October
of 23.
of 2023. Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Second.
Fair question.
There is a new wrinkle in the construction industry now, is we can't get rock. All our
But
rock,
we're paying $250,000 to blast our own rock, right?
Save?
yeah, but all the rock that's being blasted is being shipped to the coast. It's crazy. Asphalt plants right here are shutting down because they can't get materials.
So we're gonna sell that rock?
That
Over
rock's
here?
already, that rock wasn't much. It wasn't amounted for 10 truckloads of asphalt.
A lot per truck.
The rock being forward.
Right now it is on all of our resurfacing projects. It's an issue. We've switched asphalt plants in the middle of projects to try to keep going. Plants can't get the rock, so. Belvin, you having a hard time getting asphalt?
We have a Martin Marietta plant here, don't we?
They're shipping it all out.
You have to shut them down or something? Block the trucks from leaving? Gotta be creative. Second.
How much longer do you think that?
Have no idea.
The last item we have for you is acceptance of improvements and permanent easement for Pumpkin Center Properties. This property is relocating a sewer line that was previously dedicated to the county and abandoning a portion that was dedicated. This is just north of Pumpkin Center. It's to better situate the parcel for development. Staff recommends approval.
Moved. Second.
So move. Driver. Sir, appreciate it. All right, staff report.
Yes, sir. I have the year-to-date budget report and the water and sewer construction project reports for you to view. I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have. Yes, sir, it is. It's, we're way down on the amount of water we sell.
How about the UV?
Yeah, our latest hiccup we've hit on that is just the programming between our existing system and the UV system. They've had a little trouble, so we're supposed to start up the Clarksville plant a couple weeks ago, and so they've gone back. They have that worked out now. We've kind of been communicating with them, and they're coming back in 2 weeks to install everything and get that system up and running. It'll be our second startup on it.
Gotcha. So we need to change the completion date from April the 23rd.
Yeah, they have some rain days and some other days, but I don't have a latest on how far it'll be. But they missed their deadline on Blanchard, so they couldn't shut side B down. So they'll have to do some final work on that one in the fall. So they'll probably be not doing anything for a month or two before they go wrap the Blanchard plant up.
Couple of these. Like we're almost to the end. Spent most of the money, but Obviously, we hadn't closed them out like Howling. What are the status on those?
They have finished, they're substantially complete on Dowling. They just have to finish up grassing on it before they can send the final bill. So once we get grassing, that job's done. Woodbridge, we've been going back and doing that because that's the one where we terminated the contract. And the only thing we have left to do on that is finish the doors on it. They had those big barn doors, and we're still trying to find a contractor to do that. But once we do that, that job will be finished also.
On the work performances report, department, the plan reviews,
Why?
cause of that.
It really goes in cycles. It's a lot more than it was. I usually look at last year's. It's a lot more. Could be a indication that we're maybe getting some more development or more plan reviews in. But we've seen those numbers before. It's just been a few years.
No, sir.
No.
Commissioner or public comment? And Mr. Melvin, enjoy that retirement. Thank you for your service, sir. We do have a couple of session items. What's your pleasure?
I recommend we move them on to the full board.
Second.
Adjourned at 9:04.